I decided to wear the apron so I don't ruin any of my new shirts. Amy recommended that I not wear rags anymore. Chris, I have bad news for you, Chris. Son of a bitch. So I painted those shell crackers, and I remember why I don't paint them. They were the biggest pain in the ass. Did not enjoy them. I did not enjoy them, but I got them done. But I was cursing them the whole time. I gotta watch what I sand on this thing because you gotta kind of yeah, I really do. If I really don't want to paint those again. That was not fun. And the money doesn't make sense to me because like the cost to have them painted is worth more than the damn bait. And down charging to appropriate the size of the bait doesn't make sense for the pain in the ass it is to deal with them, if that makes sense. Because you can't get the tails out of them. That's a big problem. And the tails a lot of times need to be painted, and then you've got like a flopping tail, and they're just a hassle. They're just a hassle. I'm waiting on where's Jimmy? Hella, that sounds like a nice morning. Having breakfast at a diner while waiting on tire repair. Uh, what's for breakfast? Are you a like a waffle guy? Are you a like all-star platter guy, or do you eat like a breakfast sandwich guy? Uh, but I wish Jimmy was on here. Hash brown bacon and pancakes with a side of ooh, risque. Uh, I wish Big Time Jimmy was on here. Where's he at? I've got his damn bait. Let's see if I can find a picture for you guys. The YouTube will miss out because I can't share pictures. But I know this thing's like 2 months old. I don't know if I can find a damn picture of it. No. Y'all might would have forgotten about this bait. Uh, hang tight. There we go. There you go. Y'all see that loser? That's a Piz Runt that had 16 paint jobs on it. That previous owner tried to strip a little bit. So there was pieces that had been removed, and then I started working on it, trying to get the rest off. So this was a complete restoration. But It is done. All clean. All clean. Hopefully dude gets some bites on it. We'll see. But that's the finished project. He's got the eyes and the tails, and I think he's going to replace the lip. Um, but that's what it started as. Oh, if you hell up, the thing about this bait was I know some of these paint jobs because a lot of these guys when they first get going, they'll paint shit for free, just to say, you know, I painted this or that bait. They say, oh, I'll paint that for you for nothing, or $20 or whatever. There's lots and lots of free and $20 paint jobs going around. This one looked like it had 2 or 3 of those on there. What was funny was one of them I took off was it was like the guy changed his mind mid paint. Like he painted the bait and then it was like, no, nah, I'm gonna do something different, and then like started over, and you could like see those layers of where he like screwed up and started over again. But it's done now. It's done, and I'm glad. I'm glad. But I got another. I got this Chad Shad resin one. It'll get. I need eyes for it. Occasionally, you get one of these, and they already stick the eyes in it. And occasionally, you get one that the eyes melt for whatever reason. So I got to get new eyes for that guy's bait, which is not anything big. Rather than send him melted eyes and say, "Sorry, bro, your eyes melted." Well, let's see if I can get the old polisher going. Hit the corner of this thing. All right. You got to be careful with these things because you can't ever tell what's actually in your clear coat and what is a flaw in the bait itself. But I learned early on by sanding through enough of them that what to kind of when to say when. You know what I mean? Uh, Nate, I'm just getting some baits ready to ship. Big ass punker. Hella, you want a punker? Kyle, what's up? This is a Table Rock Shad Lunker Punker. I don't know if you can see the color. Now you can. Table Rock Bass Punker. And then I got this little guy. Another. I need to hit this one with a little piece of sandpaper on the fin. Where my sandpaper went. Fishing and pitching. No, I've tried different like techniques at chroming. I've never ordered stuff to do it like the legit way. Um, but no, I've done all the like fake ways you can do it. None of them really work. Um, I'm really not a fan of chrome. Like um, I thought it was going to be cool to like chrome baits. I was like, oh, I'll like learn how to chrome. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, chrome is not durable, and paint doesn't stick to it. Like clear coat doesn't stick to it. Like it's just a pain in the ass to have to. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to sell you something that like just falls off. Um, so I haven't dug much deeper lately. I got a little nib on this fin. I'm trying to get done. The next bait drop. What's the next bait drop going to be? Um, Kyle, I don't like foil either. I think foil sucks because then you're just at the mercy of glue, and if that fails, like for what I do, um, like foiling a wood bait is pretty durable because you put it under a coat of epoxy or whatever the finish is. Um, then you paint it and cover it again. So that typically won't fail, but all the coatings I use are so thin, it takes forever for me to get enough build to cover the seams. Um, and on like a Swimbait or something like that, uh, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Nice, Travis. We hadn't talked about the Vixens yet. We were just talking about the that ugly ass Piz that was destroyed finally getting done. Um, so I'm not a fan of the only thing that I'm half-ass interested in that would do the same thing is heat transfer foil because it's super thin and you can still get like a chrome look, um, and you could deal with scales and gill plates and stuff like that. So um, I've got the stuff to do that. And I ordered some foil, and it wasn't what I needed. Um, let's see. AJ, what's up, dude? Hmm. I'm gonna have to sit back in the chair for this one. AJ, what you working on today? I had a really painting baits I bought for myself and never used. Are you painting them for yourself? Rich, I'm trying to think what the next bait's going to be. It might be a 3-piece wake gill. I've had very many requests for that. We'll see. This is a really tricky spot. No osmium jigs. Kyle, you were watching that? That was pretty funny. Daniel, get out there and bake, dude. You'll be wishing you had when it's 12 degrees wherever you're at and saying, damn, this shit sucks. Wish it was summertime again. It's a really weird spot on this bait. I could keep going, but I run the risk of sanding through this fin, and I'd rather not do that, so I'm going to call that good. Joey, I am. I usually go through them in my older days. I've been going through and I'll wet sand little nibs off and stuff, and then I'll buff them to see what clean them up. Shit like that bothers me a little more than it used to. But I don't get them all, but I try and get what I can. Like I said, without burning through the clear coat, or not. Excuse me, sanding through the clear coat. Because this little thing, it doesn't spin fast enough to burn through it, but I can definitely sand through one. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. AJ, I had a fun, eventful clear coating session last night. I hooked up my clear coating gun, filled it full of clear coat, went to spray. PSI was set on about 32, 35, something like that. And I hit the button and it sprayed like I was had like 5%. So, or 5 PSI. So I cranked the PSI to like 60 and it started spraying kind of how I felt like it needed to, but it was still spraying like real shitty. And but if you laid it down wet, it looked fine, but it wasn't like a good spray pattern at all. So I laid down the first coat, and I was like, I'm gonna pull this trigger out and see if like the trigger's not going down. Something's like messed up with the trigger or something. So I start pulling the trigger out, pull the needle. Well, this whole time, this uh, first coat is flashing off. And if I don't get to it in the proper amount of time, it's going to wrinkle and look like ass. So I'm like on the clock trying to like figure out what's going on with this thing. And I'm like looking at those baits. I'm like, shit, dude. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to crank the air pressure and spray it like it is. I don't know. I don't have time to disassemble this gun. And I'd already taken the nozzle off and looked for some sort of crud in there, but I couldn't figure it out like quick. Usually it's something obvious, like there's like a something, blocking the air. And or like the little vent tube in your cups plugged up or something. But anyway, so the trigger assembly the has like this little floppy pin that goes down into the hole that hits the little mechanism that opens the air, right? So I'm trying to get that little floppy piece to go down in the hole. And like I stick it down in there and it like goes to the side and then it does this way. And I'm trying to hold the needle back, like the little mechanism that holds the needle. And I'm like dude, I'm in like 10 minutes trying to get this thing to like go in there. And I'm like, I know when I spray these son of a bitches that they're going to wrinkle. And finally, I got it to go in. I was like, whew. So I like cranked it up. Just started like hosing them down just to like for speed purposes. And luckily I didn't get any like terrible like runs or anything. It wasn't my preferred way to spray, but it worked, so I'm happy. But it was not fun. Um, Luckily, I didn't have like 100 baits to spray. Then I would have been real screwed. Kyle, no, different gun. Different gun. I haven't used that gun yet. Um, I have one gun I specifically clear coat with. Um, but let me go. I've got a few more baits. I need to get off the rack to put eyeballs and such in. I got some stuff I need to ship from eBay too. So let me go get the rest of these baits and I'll be right back. This was my paint book. This is all the pictures were in the baits. So this guy's baits were all he sent pictures with them, which helped. Let's see. All right. Bull shad. Then we got all these shell crackers. Kala did. It did really good. Surprisingly. There's one. Ghost Gill. AJ's favorite. This one, he sent me a picture of a craw. He wanted the Jordan Lee craw. And rather than doing craw marks on the side of it, I just did little black marks on the side because I have tried crawls down the side of swim baits and they just look like ass. So I didn't even bother. I just gave him some bars. I've learned that lesson also. Don't like the crawl gill. Yeah, dude, they're the worst. They are the worst. They never come out good, and I try to talk people out of them. I'm like, listen, dude, that's gonna look like asshole. Please don't make me do that. And then the paint jobs get a little fancier. Actually, they get fancy on one. These are just pretty standard crankbait colors. Chartreuse one. Let's see. The elusive crawl gill. I'm getting real in my old age, I'm getting real picky on what I want to do. This one looks pretty good. This is the fancier one. I would have put these gill markings on those other baits, but I didn't. I couldn't find the stencil on it. I eventually found it after I'd already painted the other ones, so I was able to do this one because I waited to do this one later than the other ones. Like I said, I'm gonna pass on the little those things. Then I painted this thing, whatever it is. Y'all know better than me. I know I've seen the advertisements on Instagram. I think I get hit with some ads for that bait. But dude sent me a bunch of little stuff, and I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't. Kyle, they went. Everything sold really well. Really well. If anybody has any shallow running wears, I got the guy that wants them. Like this. Shallow wears. If anybody wants to unload shallow wears, let me know. I got the hookup on a buyer. He's ready. I don't know how ready he is, but he sent me a message and he said, "You got any more of them square bill wears?" I said, "I don't know, probably." And he said, "I'll buy all you got." You sure about that, buddy? I might put the feelers out on the tackle craft community and get bombarded with square bill wears, and then be like, "Hey, dude, I got 100 of these things. You ready?" He'd be like, "I didn't mean all of them." It's like, "Well, you said all of them." Team No Fish, nothing fancy. Says it on the bill. Rebel, we are. Just a square bill, simple, we are. Apparently, color does not matter. I stuck my business card in there, so maybe if he needs any paint work done. So I should have told him, I'd be like, "Can you paint these losers? They look like ass." But, all right, what am I trying to do? Kyle, then you would have got stuck with them damn things. And then eBay would have sent me a dirty letter for shell bidding. Eric probably does have a bunch. I don't know. I don't know if the We Are was on his radar. I have to ask him. I mean, he probably does, but I know I painted a bunch of deeps for him, but I don't recall. I just need to go to that dude's house. Honestly, I need to make the pilgrimage to Eric's house. Guys used to come to Bass Pro and say they wanted the nicest combo we could build, and money is no object. So I would put together $1,000 combo, and they said that was way too much. Yeah, that's typically how that goes. Um, that's typically how that goes. Uh, I've had that conversation with a few people. I tried to pull that move on Marty. Marty was like, "Man, I hate painting. I just want to build baits." I was like, "Okay, well, just build me some baits." And he's like, "How many you want? 100?" He's like, "Nah." It's like, "Okay, worth a shot." Uh, Shot my shot. Marty shut me down. But money is no object. Build me the nicest reel. See, I don't like one. Hella says his clients always say cost isn't a thing, but then it always is. That sounds about right. Uh, yeah, when anytime anybody says I'll take all you have, or anything to the extreme, like a you know statement like that usually means you're going to get stuck with something, or you won't get what you're looking for. I don't know that I'd want a $1,000 combo though. Like I rather have more medium combos. Like I rather have more like $300 combos than the $1,000 combos. Um, except when I call about bass rats. Yeah, that is true. That lady hooked me up. I'll take all you got, and I did. I took all she had, but luckily it was only like 40. Um, Hella says he has a $900 combo, very much diminishing returns after about 300. That's what I figured. Like, how much more enjoyment can you get out of a $900 combo than like a $400 combo? I was Hello. This will now that I've got your ear. This is a. I've been thinking about this for a while. I've had this discussion with a buddy of mine. Dickie D, if you don't mind listening for a second, if you've got a second, you can probably give a good 2 cents. So, my question is, we'll use the just like an older generation Shimano, say like a Chronarch from like, I don't know, just like a like 2 generations ago from the Chronarch now. Would that technology that was in that Chronarch from 10 years ago not be the same as what's in a like, would that same technology and quality of a 10-year-old Chronarch not be equivalent now to like a lower end Shimano baitcaster? Whatever what's that black reel they sell the shit out of, Shimano? Um, the DC, or not DC, it's like I forget what it's called. It's black and blue. SLX? The SLX, yeah. So would, a Chronarch from 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would think you could buy a $100 reel now, the SLX, and it would probably be equivalent to the higher end Shimano's from yesteryear. Technology would be in the SLX, but not the quality of the build. See that? I guess it's not magnesium, which I guess they put a lot in that high end range. But as far as feel goes, like, it should feel the same, right? My argument is much more relative to spinning reels. Okay, I can see that. I could see that. But I was always curious of that. Like, if I buy an SLX now, am I pretty much just buying like a 2 year, like a 2 generation old Corrado, or you know Chronarch or whatever? Uh, who knows? Shimano technology, Dickie D says, and bait casting reels hasn't really changed. No, I wouldn't. I don't. I don't. I think they just changed the way they look. I'll tell you what, dudes. Talk about Dickie D. I talk about standing the test of time and a quality feeling reel. And I'm a Shimano dude. Um, this old ass Denny Brower Team Daiwa 103 HSD X is a badass feeling reel. Still, like, this thing feels great. Like, I think if you put this on the shelf right now, like, people pick them up and be like, "Damn, that's a good feeling reel." Like, that thing feels awesome. I feel like this would still sell for like a good amount of money. Um, like, the knobs are a little outdated. They're plastic and like shitty feeling. But like, as far as like the quality of the reel feels, it feels great. Um, so I've never owned a Daiwa reel. Um, but Darius was nice enough to send me this, um, and complete my Takahiro cranking combo. So now I can pretend like I'm Takahiro in the Wiley Classic. Was it 2004? Or if I want to channel Brower, I can take this reel and put it on my other Daiwa rod. This is the cranking one, the glass rod. This is going to be my. This is a Team Daiwa S spinnerbait crankbait glass fiber rod, model TDS 7-foot or 71 MRB medium, made in Taiwan, Republic of China. I knew it. I knew it. This thing feels badass though. Like now I know why all these guys cranked with these things forever. No, I'm a lefty. It must be the camera be reversed. It's my right hand. Oh, that's another question I have. So, back in the day, early 2000s, late 90s, whatever you want, when they started, you first started to see a lot of left-handed reels. The right-handed reels would all look awesome. This in a left-handed reel looked like a completely different reel. Am I crazy? Or there was like lots of reels that the left-handed version looked nothing like the right-handed version. And I could never figure out what was going on. Like you would very precious in Japan. This whole combo, it's a nice combo. But are these still used a lot in Japan, Tayo? But you would get like if you would see Brower or Takahiro cranking on this reel and you were a lefty and you're like, oh, let me go get that. You'd go out and buy the left-handed version and it would look like a microwave. Like it wouldn't even be the same reel. I would have been pissed if I was a damn lefty. Okay, I wasn't just crazy. They were actually weird looking. How can Daiwa and Shimano top tier reel go before they are just spitting out the same stuff? I feel like that's what's going to eventually happen is they just become each other. I've often felt that same way about my painting. That eventually, like the older I get, the more I like to not be as busy, not do as much like crazy stuff. And I started thinking, I was like, if you keep simplifying your baits anymore, they're just going to be white. Like you're just going to run out of, like eventually, like you're going to get past everything to where you're like just white. Tatula's, is it Tatula or is it Tetula? I've heard both. I've heard more people say Tatula though, but at first I heard Tetula, and then I think, yeah, pretty much. Hello, I mean everything's just going to become bone. I've been using Tatula CTs for most application. Omnia with a discount that came in just over $100. I moved away from the Shimano when they did away with the Green Corrado E's. Yeah, luckily, that's a right-handed Tayo. This is right-handed. It's just my camera's backwards, I guess. Tatula. Um, yeah, John, I never like I had, you know, 15, 20, 15, 20 of those E's, and I never like felt anything since then. I was like, man, I got to get rid of these E's to replace them with that. Um, I'm okay with old technology. The only thing I don't like is I think a lot of those I think a lot of those parts for those reels are not available anymore. Um, as a power fisherman, I think you would really appreciate the SV spool from Daiwa. Dickie D, I would probably like Daiwas a lot. Um, my only issue with Daiwas is that I'm very, very familiar with taking apart those Shimano's. And I have, in my younger years, worked on a Daiwa that was my buddy's. And I took that thing apart, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I would feel more comfortable hitting this Mac computer with a sledgehammer and putting it back together than taking a Daiwa reel apart. Maybe they've changed, but this would have been in like um, late '90s, early 2000s when I took on this reel project, and I took that thing apart, and it was terrible. And I said, I never want to own one of these. I never want to work on one of these again. Um, John, I would think there would be a yeah, that's why I like them, Dickie D. They're easy to work on. They're simple. They're smooth. They're strong. They hold up. Like everything about them's good. Um, and but if I need a part, I don't have any like I don't have any like donor reels. Um, but I would think there would be a good market for some company to just make aftermarket parts for like discontinued Shimano's and Daiwas and stuff. Um, Dickie D, better than the 200s, better than the tanks. Yeah, I didn't understand that why they rebranded the Chronarch as the like they just took a Corrado E and painted it white and called it a Chronarch. Like that didn't make any sense to me. Um, but I do know that my buddy has one, and I'm wondering if he'll get rid of it. And I know it's sitting at his house, and it's on a shitty ass Skeet Reese Wright and McGill yellow rod. And I want to call him up and be like, I know you don't bass fish much anymore. You want to get rid of that white Chronarch? Um, ooh, Dickie D says most overrated reel. Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow. Um, Dickie D, why don't you think there's been some small like little boutique company that's made like high end replacement parts for Shimano of their discontinued reels? I think that would be um, pretty decent uh, business, especially like the like all the old spinning reels that had the little gummy bear knobs that all melted. Everybody needs handles for those. Um, in the back plates, but I don't think it would cost much. I mean, I wonder if Shimano would do that. I wonder if you could like, I wonder if you could partner with Shimano and be like, listen, I want to sell your parts that you don't want to sell. I just need your place that's already got like the shit to do it. The cost to make the low number of units would make the parts more expensive than just buying new. Possibly, I would. I mean, I would think there'd be a way to get that shit done cheap. Uh, Tayo says spinning reels Shimano owns in Japan. Bait casting reels, Daiwa rules. You can see that. Minimum order quantity on parts are probably at least 1,000. I would think you could get. I would think you could get rid of 1,000 gears, or like 1,000 pawls, or 1,000 like you know. I mean, what really breaks in a reel? Like my old ambassadors, like the 5500s, the pawls, like those things would just eat pawls. Um, so you had to have a bunch of those. I don't know. I don't know what the most repaired. I need to talk to a real guy. AJ needs to repair all of his rear drag Spyrexes. Dickie D, if I bought a new one, then I would have 16 E7s and one weirdo. Or I guess I could just get on eBay and find another one. Those things go for a lot. I'll tell you the best buy I ever made. Uh, buy some graphs. Nah. I buy poles before I bought graphs. Um, no graphs. Don't want them. Poles would be like if you gave me 10 grand to go like dump on fishing stuff for the boat, I would probably just buy poles and then pocket the other five. Marty Burns, what's up? See the video Randy did, says all his reels are 7-1, nothing else, all a hype. I mean, I don't know how he can say that. Like we we somehow made it to 7-1s from like 4 3-1s to 5 3-1s or 5 5-1s, whatever. And people thought that was fast. Well, now, when people got 6 3-1s, they're like, oh shit, this is awesome. And then they got 7-1s, they're like, oh, this is even better. So like 8 9-1, 10-1, whatever. Like, you know, 5 years from now, people would be like, 7-1's so slow, they're so sucky. But maybe that's the sweet spot. Um, oh, thank you, my sweet. I'm trying to. I wore my bib today, so I didn't get stuff on it. Uh, AJ, I don't care what anybody says. Those cheap ass Spyrexes from back in the day with the double handle felt awesome. That was a good feeling reel. It even had the little finger trigger that you flip the spool with. Mine did, at least. Um, John D says, I want to see him throw a 10XD with a high speed reel all day. No, he's a bank beater. He doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't 10XD. The industry needs to change to inches per crank and get away from gear ratio. Um, Dickie D, uh, maybe that will happen when Z-Man changes their weighting system for their Ned heads. I don't know why on earth a dumbass company wants to have their heads weighted in 1797ths. Like nobody knows what that is. Like you literally have to go look at a pack of Z-Man heads and like pull out a calculator and start like reducing. Not that I buy those, but you know what I mean. Rich got 3 Spyrexes still. He knows what's up. TK will still be throwing 5.3 while everyone else is fishing 25.2s. Maybe. Maybe. Dickie D, why don't you call Z-Man and ask him why they're so dumb and why they have those stupid ass fractions. We ain't mathematicians. We don't know what 1796 and a halves are. Or grams. Yeah, I'm okay with grams. Grams are easy. Grams are easy. Or millimeters. I mean, most of the stuff's in millimeters anyway. But that's why I really I prefer to buy like eyeballs for baits from China because all their stuff's in millimeters. Here it's in fractions. So if I order if I would try to order eyeballs from like Jan's Net Crafts, it's all like 9/32. It's like, dude, I don't just put it in millimeters. Like they sell them to you in millimeters. Like just put them in millimeters. Like all the baits that they go in are in millimeters. Stop. Um, Split rings, like yeah, nobody knows a 2 and a 3 size split ring. Like people that use them all the time do, but your average guy that's going to shopping and he's just like just put it in millimeters. Then he'll know what he's actually getting. Like I don't like a number 2 split ring is not 2 millimeters. Like it's probably 6 or 5. I mean it's close, but and the sizing of split rings changes based on the manufacturer. Exactly. Just give it to us in millimeters. Why is that so hard? Barlow's has pics of yeah. You got to pay extra for that though, Dickie. You got to pay a premium to get the shit on a ruler. I'll tell you what, gentlemen. Um, so for a while, I would always order from Lure Parts online. Just I don't know because they had everything. Like I knew what their stuff was. But back in the day, I'd order from Jan's and I'd order from uh, Barlow's and any of those type places. But for a little while, I would just order from Lure Parts just for ease of use. And I recently started ordering some stuff from Jan's Netcraft, and I will say their customer service is better than anybody's. Not any company, but like in that realm of like tackle stuff, Jan's is great, dude. Like anything I've had issue with or like had to return or anything, they'll call me back, ask me questions, like make sure everything's all right. Like uh, I'm perfectly happy with that. Marty, I'd take a spinnerbait in grams. That didn't bother me. What is that? 12 grams? That's easy. Or 10 grams? I think that's what a half ounce is. I'll see what this was. Hey. Yeah, 10. Yeah, they those companies can't get their shipping figured out. They really break one off in you on the shipping part, uh, especially when you're ordering like uh, like if you ordered like $50 worth of little stainless steel screw eyes. Like it probably like 10 packs of those probably weighs about 3 ounces, maybe. Like you can put those in a bubble baler, ship them off for $4 or $5, whatever. They're like, nah, medium flat rate box, $14, $15. Like, dude, no. Like, it doesn't cost that. Um, AJ would buy so much more if they ship first class. Agreed. Jan's has the worst descriptions. Oh yeah, they recently revamped their website and they have got major bugs to work out of that. I don't know who's in charge. I deal with a guy named Cade, really nice guy. Been very helpful to me. But I think the last time I talked to him, I was like, "Hey, dude, website's got some issues because you click on the link or like you click on whatever it is you're looking for over here and it doesn't like match to the picture or highlight at all, or if you click on the picture it doesn't like automatically connect to the product in the drop down menu." I was like, y'all got some work to do. He's like, yeah, I know, we got a new website and it's all like jacked up, but yeah, descriptions are bad. They got work to do, but they make up for it, I feel like, in the customer service department. AJ says he uses and abuses Barlow's for their site references. He uses their site for references, but never purchases. I used to purchase a lot from Barlow's because I used to have a few things that the other places didn't have. But I feel like they've all got pretty much the same stuff now. But back when I first got started, my old good buddy Mean Gene, he always used Jan's, and we would sit there and like, or he used Jan's, he used Lure Parts, he used anybody, but he would get the catalogs and we'd sit there and flip through the catalogs and like look at the new skirts and like it's pretty exciting. Any idea? Dickie D, yeah, you can probably get them from that Predator dude. I hear he's a prick. Word on the street was he used to be a nice guy, but then the longer he's been in the lure blank selling business, he's turned into an asshole. I don't know. I've only ordered a few things from him. But Predator lures, Predator baits, I don't know, Predator blank lures. He sells a DT10 knockoff with a bill that is separate. He could probably, or you could probably just buy the whole bait and throw the body away and just use the bill. No, I think they're separate. I think the bills come separate, or they used to. But they can't be more than a couple bucks. Like the bill's probably worth the money, or the bill's probably better than the bait. Are you going to take a DT10 and glue it into a DT6? And make a DT8 the right way? And make a DT8 the right way. Why, AJ, why did Rapala let us all down and take a DT8 body and stick a DT6 bill in it? Or whatever they did. No, they took a DT6 body and put the DT10 lip angle in it. Idiots. Idiots. AJ said he has never had a bad dealing with the Predator guy, but he's heard the same thing. I haven't either. But Oh, am I speaking out of line? Sorry. Hold on. Let me go get a bottle of water. I'm parched. Dickie D, you know what I'd rather have for my boat for Christmas than graphs? My seats recovered. Can you talk to the people up in Tennessee that recover them for Triton and get them some employees and get them caught up? Kyle thinks the dude became an asshole because people took advantage of him being a good guy. I ordered some of those. I haven't gone to the tape level yet. I'm thinking about it though, because they're getting pretty gnarly. And I was like, should I be that guy that just duct tapes them? Color match Trex tape for seats. What looks worse, taped up seats or just letting them go? I don't know what to do. I've thought about it, but I've seen you see guys with taped up seats, and part of me goes, man, you're just like an old badass. So like, I feel like you're like the next level when you start taping your seats. Uh, the problem is, um, if you tape up your seats, you got to be a damn hammer. You know what I mean? Like, if you tape up your seats and you don't catch them, you just look like an old crusty barnacle. But like, I think you get double respect when you catch them and you've got the taped up seats. Um, so I think if you roll up to the ramp and stick your hand in some guys' wallets after a weigh-in, and you get the tape on the seats, you're elevated even more if you than if you were in a fancy boat. But if you just show up and get your ass kicked with taped up seats, you get way down the line. So, what kind of tape did you say? Trex tape? Is that like Trex decking? Let me look at this Trex tape. Trex tape. I need it in gunmetal. Oh, it's duct tape. I thought it was some fancy tape. Polyester jacket. The thing about it, uh, you got to wear the polyester jacket with the hoodie up under it. That's the damn uniform. T Rex. 100 times stronger, extreme durability, instant stick. Uh, they have tread tape. What does this look like? Oh, it's got like that. It's like bed liner. Um, Mounting tape, waterproof tape. See what their waterproof tape look like. Sticks to tough, wet surfaces. Maybe that would work. Is it colors? Man, we'll see. The 6'2", 156-pound, 65-year-old guy who lights his next cig with the other one that's burning has a 1998 champion is the guy I'm always afraid of. You ain't wrong. There was these two dudes. If anybody's from Central Alabama, Birmingham, anywhere, there was these two dudes who used to fish against. I used to fish against them. I fished the same stuff as him for a little while. Mike McMillan, Pat Chambers. These two dudes beat ass everywhere. So when I was first coming up in the tournament scene, they beat us down pretty. I mean, they didn't just beat us down; they beat everybody down pretty bad. But like, you know, they were dropping weights on days that typically on paper, you know, you're not supposed to catch anything. Like I think we fished the L&L Trail one year. Might have been the first year we ever fished it. And the first tournament or whatever was in February, I believe it was. And the river was like super high. It had been flooding rain. We had a cold front, and the river was it was like literal chocolate milk. And you know, on paper, you got high water, high rising water, mud, cold, like everything's going against you. We went out there and caught a pretty good bag. Like I think we had like 14 pounds. And we were like, "Oh, dude, it's cold. It's the river's up. Like it's muddy. Like typically you're supposed to do shitty. And this is at Lay Lake. We didn't know shit about shit, obviously. So we show up and we had 14, and we're like proud of our bag. And we're walking up, and the guy is like standing there halfway to the scales, and he's like, "You got 19?" We're like, "No." He's like, "You might as well throw that shit back." We're like, "Do what?" He's like, "I mean, if you don't have at least 19, like you're, I mean, you don't even need to weigh in." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." So we threw our little bag back, and Mike and Pat won. They had like 23 or 24 or something. It was like absurd. I was like, dude, what? Like, were we even on the same lake? We got some learning to do. And but anyway, those guys are. I loved fishing against them because they were so good, and they were good everywhere. You know what I mean? You could drop them off anywhere and they'd beat ass. But I the thing about those dudes were it would be July and they'd show up in blue jeans and shit kickers. Well, we're talking with like heels, like shit kickers. And they would fish in that shit all day. And they would have and always had like the rowdy legs, like the jeans in the boots. And they fished out of this old skeeter that was just like destroyed, dude. It looked like it sat out in the yard under a damn oak tree for like 10 years, never got touched. And then like they would wake up and decide, hey, let's go fish this tournament. And they'd go hook the boat up and like all the like trash the kids threw in the boat, stuff fell out of the trees, shit you left on there when you were like dicking around in the yard, like all that stuff's still on the boat. Like they're driving to the boat ramp with the damn leaf blower on the back. And but I remember those guys pulling up and like to weigh-ins and stuff, and their boat would be just destroyed, wearing jeans in the summertime with boots. And I'm like, God, these guys are rebels, dude. But I always appreciated that. But I'd like to. I never really met those dudes. I'd like to talk bass fishing with them. There's a lot of guys like that. Uh, John, I think they're from like around Centerville, Alabama, um, kind of between Selma and Birmingham, somewhere around there. I don't know, but I'd like to get in the boat with those dudes. There's a bunch of guys that I really looked up to growing up, like fishing tournaments around here that I'd like to fish with. Um, uh, and I don't know how. Uh, I don't know how that would go down. You know what I mean? Like you reach out to somebody on Facebook and you're like, "Listen, dude, we never really met, but I fished against you a bunch back in the day, and I really always looked up to you and enjoyed fishing against you. But I'd like to fish with you just to see how you fish, just out of curiosity. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to like suck spots out of you or like try and like steal anything. I just want to you know see how you break down a day on the water, um, or how you got to where you were, and what how you learned what you did and whatever. Um, but I've got about I got about 10 of those calls to make. Jimmy, it's in one piece. Um, but yeah, all the old cloth that I grew up fishing against, I'd like to get in the boat with them. Um, and I don't feel like some of them are probably pricks, and I don't know it. Um, but there's probably a lot of them that would. I think they're old enough now that they wouldn't be as like maybe secretive, that they would like get in a boat with like somebody like me and go fishing for a day. Um, so I don't know. I'd like to make some phone calls, and or find them on Facebook and be like, hey, I don't know if you fish much anymore, but um, oh, Kyle, funny you say that. We went down to Apalachicola a couple years ago, and I was wearing these shorts. Maybe these, but anyway. So there was this guy. There was like this commercial fisherman, and I got out at the boat ramp, and my dad and his buddy and his son got out, and they had on like their like their Magellan fishing shorts and like their button up SPF long sleeve shirts. And they're like Gilligan hats and all this shit. I mean, they look like guys that would go hop on a charter boat somewhere. And this commercial dude was launching his boat to go like oystering or something. And he walked up to me and started talking to me like I was a local. He was like, "Man, did you see that football game last week? Man, that was them damn. He was talking about like the high school, like the local high school. I was like, yeah, it was a good game, dude. I didn't see it. And he's like, man, what you think these fish are gonna do? I was like, shit, I don't know, dude. And I was like, tide's kind of funky. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man. And he's like, anyway, good luck to y'all. I was like, all right. And he like wouldn't talk to anybody else. Like he like, I guess he saw me and like the way I was dressed, and he's like, this guy is cut from the same cloth as me. But I got a good laugh out of that. Never meet your heroes. That's what they say. That's what they say. Have any of y'all ever met your heroes and get let down? The thing about it is I've probably got I don't know if they would tell the truth or not, but a lot of these guys, like I'd like to hop in the boat with them and be like, hey, you remember that time you destroyed everybody and won like 4 pounds? Uh, what were you doing? Like, you think 10 years later people would come off that info? Yeah, Roland Martin. He wasn't my hero. I didn't really like Roland, but I did meet him, and I kind of looked up to him because I didn't look up to him, but he was a celebrity, a fishing celebrity. So you held him in whatever kind of regard. Um, so yeah, turns out he was a prick, but he seems like he's gotten better. Maybe that was just like a phase he was going through. I don't know. Eric and Travis went and fished with him up there in the St. Lawrence and said he was really nice. So, but maybe he had to be. Um, yeah, I met Jimmy Houston. Jimmy Houston was great. Um, so I don't know. Darius, what's up? You ever meet your fishing hero before? Tyler, that wouldn't surprise me. Surprised nobody commented when I said I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water and then walk back up with a damn beer keg. All right, what do I need to do? Walk and talk. Walk and talk. Dickie D, it wasn't much. It was like 800 bucks, 600, 800, 700, something like that. I feel like it's been the same price forever. Um, the problem with it, the last time I checked with that company, um, the prices were the same, and the backlog was just like a year and a half. Like I think that's what they told me that or what I read on their website. Um, like all the prices were the same, but it was like a 14-month backlog or something, or 16-month backlog. If you sent them in, that was my issue. Like if they had if they could give you like a heads up, like a few months in advance, and be like, hey, your order's coming up. If you could send us your seats, they'll you're a month out. I'd be okay with that. But sending them your seats for a year, that would suck. Yeah, Jay seems like he'd be super nice. I could. I'd like to go to Takahiro's house and hang out with him for a little while. He seems like he'd be the shit. Larry Nixon, yes. Toledo Bend, he sat down and ate with us. Nicest guy you want to meet. Yeah, I've met Larry at a classic. Um, I've told y'all about that. It was the first like real Guggen Squad kind of classic. I don't even know if they were the Guggen Squad yet, but like the favorite fishing guys had kind of like assembled them as a team for the favorite fishing rod, signed each of them individually or whatever. And I don't know if they were the Guggens yet, but that was when Larry Nixon was sitting by himself at the Yamamoto booth while there was 1,000 people waiting in line to meet the Guggens. And I went over there and said what's up to Larry. He was super nice. I got him fired up though. If you missed that story, my question to Larry, I walked up to him and was like, Larry Nixon. He's like, hey man, what's going on? Not much. And he was kind of solemn. Looked kind of sad, I guess, because he was a legend and he was bored sitting there. And nobody to talk to. And I walked up and I said, Larry, I got a question for you. What's that? I said, there was a tournament on Lake Dardanelle in the early 2000s, Sitco era. He's like, yeah. I was like, at the end of the tournament, there was a clip of you on a channel swing bank. He said, yeah. I said, you were way off the bank. He said, okay. He said, were you cranking a Killer B2 down that bank? And he went from like to, it was like the Grinch smile. His like face curled up. And he was like, I was like, yeah, now we're talking. And dude, he went from like total stranger to like best friend in 30 seconds. And it's pretty funny. But he was super nice. And the thing about it is like I feel like you never get to talk to those dudes at like a classic or like an expo or any kind of one of those events because there's always like hordes of people around them. And you feel like a creep just standing there like waiting. You know what I mean? And you never know how long somebody's going to talk to somebody. And then you're like next in line. It's like, oh, come here and sit on Santa's lap. John, they did great, dude. I was really surprised. I screwed up on one. Is the only one I really messed up on. I had one bait. I had that Bagley DB3. Dude sent me an offer later, Dickie D. The dude sent me a $35 offer on it. So I text my old fishing partner Jody and said, I'll take this 35. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, you should probably take that. It's pretty solid. And he was like, nah, let it roll. You can get more than that. Well, we'll see. It sold for like $20. So it cost me 15. I lost that on 15 on that bait. I thought it would go for at least that. But turns out the guy could have got it cheaper if he would have bid, but he didn't bid, which I thought was odd. But all the Bagleys went pretty quick. I actually found some more. This one's pretty rare. I listed it up yesterday. The only problem is it's got cracks in it, but it's a rare color. And for the, it's like a first run Bangalore too. So it's, this color is rated an 8 in the Bagley book. I think it's called SO9 is the color code. stripes on chartreuse and black. But it would go for a lot more if it were in better shape. But it's got that big crack on the side and the front right here. But there's a lot of guys that collect this stuff beat up too. So. I got all these I haven't listed. Fat wraps. I might keep those and paint them maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't know. I got a bunch of random stuff I got to get rid of. Kyle, I could, but I think the person who wants it would doesn't want me fingering it. You know what I mean? Like they don't want me dicking around with it. It would be easier. It would be easier for me to just sell it as is. How about that? Yeah, I was happy with my my purchases. I wish they made a clear Bondo. Or like a not red. Do they make white Bondo? I don't know. Judging by what stuff's selling for, that should be like a $15 bait, I would think. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how rare that is in a Bangalore. Sold these little guys. I think they were like $5 a piece. I really enjoy selling on eBay because I like seeing who buys this stuff and where it goes. Some of it went to California, sent some stuff to Pennsylvania. Some of it's in Michigan. One dude down in Florida bought a bunch. Guy in Alabama bought like 10 baits. But I'm always interested to see if there's somebody I'm going to know. I've always wanted to sell, have a pro buy something from me on eBay. But I guess I never sell anything that pros want. Take these up. Joey, I'll type it in the comments. It makes it easier. Don't ask. Oh, Kyle, I've got probably better stuff that you could that could be. I've actually got a pile. Hold on, let me get these baits taped up, and I'll show you what I've got. There's a pretty fair amount of bangalores in that box. Um, but some idiot decided he wanted to modify the lips and didn't do a very good job. So I'll show you in a second. The Arenos. Um, I don't. I painted one for my dad. Um, I redid one for him. I painted it like a mullet, of all things. But honestly, if I dug, there's probably more around here. All right, those are ready. Bango lures. Look at this hack job. Look at this bill this guy put in this thing. Look how thick that thing is. Looks like one of those. It looks like one of those lips you'd stick in a swim bait. It's in there. Super glue. Um, that must have been the first one he practiced on because this one is a little cleaner. Uh, there's a gold one. Here's a golden green. This one's got some clear coat bubbling on the back, but this one could be sanded and cleaned up and re-cleared, and it would be fine as a fisher. Here's one that's got a weird crack down the side. I don't think it's anything too bad. That one could be repaired and it would be good. Oh, never mind, it can't. This one's actually broken in half. I mean, you can still fish it. It's actually got a through wire system on it, so it's not going to come in half. But this one was broken. But you could fix this one too. If one was so inclined. This one's got the clear coat bubbled up on it. You could strip it and have it looking nice. Let's see. I don't know what happened to his bangalores, but all the bangalores have issues. Like I said, all this wrinkled up clear coat, I can pretty much peel off and re-clear. Let's see. Kyle, it really would. Like you could fill that joint full of super glue and it would be stronger than it was before. And then clear coat it and it'd be fine. Let's take these old crusty hooks off. Let's see how much sanding it takes to get this stuff off. Oh yeah, this shit fall though. A little more sanding, it'll look fine. Dennis the Menace, what's up? There, she got the Zurons. Yeah, glad you like them, man. I'm a fan of those. $11, good deal. Well, I don't know what, like Bagley's clear coats are usually really, really durable. I don't know what would cause all these to bubble up like that. It's like you dunked them in gasoline or something. Big Rebel. Maybe somebody will want that. I don't know. Another Deep Rebel. Shallow Rebel. Rebel Floater. The little marks on the front, I wonder if those are stock. Kyle, I don't think heat would do that. That looks like chemical reaction. Marty wants to say, Kyle, he hasn't built a jerkbait in years. Dennis, I got an old tackle box, and it was full of old baits, and I've been selling them on eBay. So I've sold 60 out of the box, or I've sold 60 lots, and I still got a bunch of little ones. I don't know how these run, and I don't even really know what they are. It might be a deep baby Big O Cordell. Like I said, I'm not really 100% positive what these are, but I think I'm gonna paint these for myself. I need to go see how this actually fishes, though. But they're pretty cool little baits. What does this one say? Doesn't say anything. I think it's a little bitty Big O, a deep Big O. This is some other kind of little Big O. Or it's not a Big O, it's a Cordell. Looks like a Bandit. I guess it's Cordell's answer to the Bandit. But no need for these. I'll get rid of these. Yeah, I think it's a deep Big O. Not these, but the other ones. Little foamy bait. So that's about all that's left. I've sold off all the Rebels, and there was a bunch of screwtail bombers in there. Those are all gone now, and all the Bagleys are gone, with the exception of a few. There was a few square bill Bagleys. I didn't sell those. Those are hanging up on the wall. There was 2 Balsa B1s, a Balsa B2. There was some Killer B1s with square bills. I mean, Killer B2s with square bills. There was some pretty fair amount of Killer B2s. I sold off the nice ones and the other ones for myself, which I've got a Rainbow Trout Killer B2 that was in there that'll probably sell for $50. Maybe $40, $30, whatever. I mean, it's pretty decent. Kyle, I don't have any wee baits by West England. I sure don't. I don't think. No, I don't. I don't. I don't have much of that. I don't have. Because most of those guys, like those little boutique guys, most of their claims to fame are little flat-sided stuff, like mutt-shaped stuff, and I'm not a mutt guy. Um, yeah. So, um, if there was somebody back then that was building like a Balsa B3, I would have probably had them, but none of those little builders were on my radar because they were building little flat side stuff. Not appealing. I just threw Bagleys, and then eventually Marty's baits, but that was it. And then I threw Ed stuff, WC stuff. But besides those 3, Bagley's, Burns, and Ed, that was about the extent of my Balsa collection for years. Like I got some of Ira's stuff now. I got some of Jimmy's stuff now, but none of the West England stuff. None of like the love plugs or any of that kind of shit. Oh, all right. Well, let me get some of this stuff off my desk. I can't even put my arms up because I got so much shit around me. So let me get off of here and make some room so I can do some work. Yeah, I think you just see a lot of flat-sided stuff just because they're guys can pump them out a little quicker than you can. You don't have to shape around of flat side like you do a round bait. So I think that's why you see a lot more of those pop up. Um, I'm looking. I'm looking. Any other odd builders? Not really. Not really. Later, Marty. All right. I'm getting out of here. Y'all be good. Have a good weekend. Actually, somebody please go fishing so you can come back and tell me about it, and I can live vicariously through you. Maybe no, maybe. Kyle, hit me up about the bangos. Y'all be good. Later, Insta. All right, YouTubes. See y'all.